健康，柚子带来美丽，健康美丽喝洒哟。天窝蜂蜜柚子茶。
各位观众，欢迎回来，继续收看《英雄联盟职业联赛2014夏季赛事》。那么呢，在广告休息之前，大家看到的是 IG 跟青训之间的 BO2第2场，最后是由 IG 取下了胜利。
这场比赛可以说 IG 只是正常玩了就赢了，这个是实话。两支队伍从用实力上来说的话 ，IG 还是要领先一些。
哎，你的说明真是贼简略。那第一场怎么了？
第一场比赛轻敌了，很明显的轻敌了，完全放任一个后期能力比较强的艾瑞利亚，完全不管，那这个就没办法。
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the English coverage of the LPL. Of course, provided to you here on Twitch TV by our friends at Games in Asia and Gosu Gamers. I am Reed Rapid Melton. Of course, joining me is Nero, and we'll be your shoutcasters for tonight's second best of 2 series as EDG, that's Edward Gaming, take on LGD.
Yeah, so it is an interesting match coming right here. EDG in the previous week, they weren't at the top of their abilities, but later on and during the week at IEM, they completely destroyed OMG. So that's kind of weird to see them losing a game in LPL and then winning on IEM against the biggest team that there is. So, well, most probably it is going to be a 2-0 in favor of EDG. However, you can see it on your screens. The Chinese casters also think that they might split, and that is a possibility with a nice % of chances.
Exactly. You can see 2 of the casters split at 1-1, and then, of course, one of them at 2-0. And to be honest, I wouldn't be too surprised if it is a 1-1 split. But, of course, EDG looking incredibly strong, especially coming off of... I mean, you mentioned that EDG beat OMG in the IEM qualifiers, but that doesn't really go into the level of devastation that EDG wrought on OMG. Like, it was not even close. Name went beyond godlike. This guy almost single-handedly just crushed down OMG, one of the most dominant teams, the most dominant team in LPL currently. So EDG come into their best of 2 versus LGD looking incredibly strong, and here you can see, look at all those victories. They lost 1 game versus Starhorn when they split last time they faced off, but it's been win after win after win. A 70% win ratio in one of the most competitive leagues on Earth.
Yet they are still on the 4th place in the standings, so they will be looking to climb up there because they definitely are aiming at the 1st place. They finished 1st after the playoffs from the spring split, so they will be looking for the same for the summer, and especially that World Championships are closing in, and they definitely want to be in the top form for that event. So they want to show a good performance right here on LPL too, to impress the Chinese fans, to get the support.
And now we'll be going over the players for EDG. You can see them right there on your screen. This is Koro1. We're just playing Koro. He's been playing a lot of Kale, but Kale, of course, having been nerfed recently, may not see that champion out there quite so much. Now moving on, there is Clear Love, one of the most well-known junglers in China. I've been favoring Jarvan recently, but probably will get on that Lee Sin if it is available. Of course, Lee Sin, a very, very big contested pick here between the Edward Gaming and LGD.
Actually, talking about this Kale, we have seen her banned 2 times in a row in the previous best of 2, so it still is an open thing in China.
And there's you on your screen. He is playing a little bit of everything, and of course mid lane, one of the most versatile lanes that are out there for League of Legends, at least in the current meta. You can see that he is leading his team with, I believe it was least deaths, was that the stat? I can't remember exactly what they were showing there on screen. But moving on down to the duo lane, this is Name. And this guy has just single-handedly just like stepped up his game, crushed OMG yesterday. And now tonight, we facing off against LGD, coming into the game as one of the best, if not the best, AD carry in all of China.
Yeah, and his performance is definitely one of the top, if not even in China, I can even say in the world, because he's really good AD carry. He's showing this in the mechanical skills and how he plays. Well, the other thing is how his team does, because when he was playing with positive energy, well, they had some problems within the team. But right now, Name, having a stronger lineup beside him, having such a legends as Clearlove, as FCCF right there, he definitely has a lot more possibilities.
Yeah, I love FCCF's keyboard. It's like all rainbow colors. He's got the pastels on there. I can't remember exactly. I know they make Philco keyboards like that, but I can't remember exactly what his was. But here we are with their opposition, and facing off against them in tonight's best of two will be LGD. And now LGD come into this with a 50% win ratio, so it's a little bit less. But to be honest, they've actually been looking very, very good recently. While they did lose their last series versus World Elite, they have actually been very strong, taking out Invictus Gaming, and then of course splitting the series versus Young Glory, which did give them their second win of LPL. And of course, here you see the players on the screen. We're going to start by introducing PYL. Doing it in reverse order. This guy is a god at Thresh, but maybe not quite so much on anything else. So expect to see a Thresh ban versus PYL if that champion makes it through.
Actually, he is considered one of the best supports in China too. When he was playing with STYZ in the bottom lane, they were considered the best bottom lane right there. But the STYZ disappeared. There's XQ, but XQ is also a good AD carry. However, they are not doing so well as a team anymore.
Right.
And they can't really preserve it.
Yeah, the synergy was really important there. And when you move PYL into just a new lane here with XV, it's just not there. The synergy is broken, but now we actually get a chance to see one of the big stars on LGD, and of course this is Wayless. He is undoubtedly the carry of the team, and he has put up some huge numbers, even an AP Kog'Maw game, like you can see in there, and bring in Diana back.
Yeah, so this guy also is some kind of a legend coming into the team. He is one of the best mid laners out there in China. But he has some questionable plays. He's really aggressive. He's going in alone. So that's exactly what you were talking about. The chemistry within the team is not sticking together with them. He's going for some reckless plays. Sometimes pays for it with his life. Well, LGD, they're kind of this really good team, but it's pretty much a mix of good players. It's like the super team right there. When you make a super team in AU, they weren't doing too well until they trained much, because it's not just about the players, it's actually about how they work together.
Right, and it doesn't get much more of a super team than EDG. Edward Gaming just formed out of some of the best players from all different teams. And of course, here we are going to hop into Champion Select picks and bans on the way for our second best of two. Of course, it's Edward Gaming, EDG in the blue on the left-hand side of your screen. They'll be taking on LGD in the red on the right. And so immediately we're going to see Rengar banned against Clearlove. He's kind of been taking a page out of Insect's book. And really, Rengar just a very strong top-tier jungler in LPL. Same thing with Yasuo, less in the jungle, but more for the top or mid lane. Very strong champion. You'll see him banned out. And there is the ban versus PYL's Thresh. So it was expected. We saw that one coming a mile away. Nobody is going to give him that champion. And of course, actually the ban onto Chuan. No Lee Sins here either.
Yeah, so that gets taken away from him. And this is going to be a little bit of an issue, but he still can manage with some other champions. Well, we have seen a lot of Jarvan coming out into the jungle lately in the LPL, so that is a big possibility. But Braum, once again, getting left out open right there. And actually, look at that. No Kayle ban. Kayle gets first picked, so you said she got a little bit nerfed. But it doesn't really matter in China. Still is a monster. And XQ, actually, I'm wondering if it's going to be XQ or Wayless playing this card.
Yeah, that's a big point. Wayless, I feel like he just picks non-meta champions to pick non-meta champions. Like AP Kog'Maw right into a Diana. I don't know about that, but it's a little bit ambiguous. And they're hovering over Caitlyn. Is this the AP Kog'Maw? Is he gonna bring it out again? I really want them to lock in that. XQ is hovering over the Caitlyn. If LGD lock that one in, then it'll be AP Kog'Maw once again. There's Lucian out there as well. They can take that away from Name. But something tells me LGD still have a few tricks up their sleeves.
If you're following what's going on the screen, you could have actually seen how everyone started jumping around and getting excited that Jinx got picked right there. The casters, the players, everyone. So I'm really curious on what is going on right here. And FCCF, if he goes for this Blitzcrank, that is the FCCF we know from World League when he was in his top form, the best support Blitzcrank player. But nope, Leona getting locked in the end. But yeah, Jinx, we don't see that champion often in the LPL.
But it's all about the AD carry pickup. Is it going to be that AD Kog'Maw, or will PYL switch that Lucian pick over to a mid laner and, of course, keep that AD carry pick as the AD? Let that Kog'Maw go mid. We've seen it already from Wayless yesterday, or not yesterday, but last week in their series. I think LGD are going to pull it out. I think they're going to lock in the Lucian. It's a very strong pick, and it'll, of course, be going up against Name's Jinx. So if you're looking for a hyper carry, you'll have to look towards the mid lane. It's locked in, and that is Wayless's AP Kog'Maw coming out once again.
Yeah, so everyone started jumping around and talking. So that actually might be the case. Maybe they wanted this Kog'Maw to be the AD carry, but no one really expected a Jinx to come out. Like, Zillion, no problem. Zeta is playing it maybe on solo queue or whatever, everyone knows. But Jinx, it just doesn't appear on LPL. And here we go. Name is such a beast AD carry player. Well, this may be an interesting matchup right here.
And of course,
not only in the bottom lane.
No, go ahead.
But yeah, not only in the bottom lane, but actually seeing this AP Kog'Maw once again. I want to see it be successful.
Yeah, I do too. I have a really soft spot in my heart for AP Kog'Maw. It's one of the, if not the hardest late game carry. I mean, Kassadin's always going to be up there, but AP Kog'Maw just does ridiculous amounts of damage. If you can get like 700, 800, 900 AP on that guy, he'll like 3-shot guys with like 4,000 HP. It's ridiculous the kind of damage this guy does. It's persistent, it's strong, and to take a look at the standings, I have to actually realize what's on the line here. If LGD actually 2-0 Edward Gaming, that'll actually catapult themselves ahead of EDG and into that third place spot. It'll actually catapult them, let me see, yeah, with 3 points, they would actually have 11 and get up there right underneath World Elite ahead of Starhorn. So this is a big game. If LGD put in this work, if this AP Kog'Maw goes off, then that's exactly what they need to catapult themselves almost to second place. Of course, now they're down there in 5th. Edward Gaming, of course, looking to grab 3 points for themselves and grab that third place spot.
A second place spot actually tied with World Elite. That would be perfect.
Oh, that's true. Right, 3 points and they would be tied for second place. So World Elite, they got to be watching this one very, very carefully. Of course, we're looking to hop into game number 1 in our second best-of-2 series of the night. It's LGD Gaming. Will be in the red. They'll be taking on EDG. Edward Gaming coming out of the base in the blue.
Also, look at how much is on the line right here. If EDG take it 2-0, they are tied with World Elite. And guess what? Tomorrow it is EDG versus World Elite.
For the tiebreaker match that defines, actually, yeah, that'll actually decide who takes first place in LPL. If either team 2-0s, then they will get that first place. But if neither team 2-0, then OMG will still be in that first place spot.
Yeah, but we still have EDG versus LGD ahead of us. If EDG fail tonight, it's going to be really tough in the standings for them further on.
Now, interestingly enough, Koro1 actually did get his Kayle. So we were talking about some of the nerfs to Kayle, maybe not seeing her out there, but it's just a comfort pick for Koro. He knows exactly how to make it work, and kind of interesting to see that champion picked against the Kog'Maw lineup. Usually you'd want to pick that as your top laner to protect the Kog'Maw, but you can't really let Gragas go. Just an incredibly strong champion, especially on 17.
Yeah, so I can't wait to see this get rolling, actually, because this AP Kog'Maw will be impactful a little bit later on in the game, so we still have to wait about 15 to 20 minutes until he starts actually doing something, and then when he gets his power spike, about 30-40, this is going to be really huge.
Oh man, alright, so starting out the early lane phase, it does appear like we'll actually have a lane swap. You can see PYL shifting all the way up here. Ward battles in there.
Oh,
Chuan
Chuan.
just, wait, why was Chuan even there? He's gonna get blown apart. And you see just a disengage immediately. Oh, LGD, way too far overextended. Battle it out over the pink ward, and it's first blood.
Yeah,
Going
that
to
was a
Q.
little bit of misplay from Chuan right there. Well, it was early vision. Why would he want to get that so badly? It doesn't really unravel too much. And, yep, LGD losing a little bit on this one. Who got the first blood? It was you. Zoelos can fail on his Kog'Maw once again.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if Wayless is failless as he does go into a very difficult matchup. FCZF, he's actually 2v2ing here. Of course, the other champion with him is the blue buff, actually dealing a lot of damage here. FCZF, he knows that he is actually strong enough to take on Chuan. He's just going to bully him out there. Clearlove's going to flash in there, gets the damage down. One last auto attack, 17. Flashing out at the last second, narrowly making it out alive.
I think that he didn't know who to focus right there. He jumped in, flashed in, and kinda went for the Elise first, then for the Gragas, and didn't actually get anything of that. Well, EDG, but Leona being the real MVP right here, just zoning them out so much. LGD had to waste like 10 or maybe 15 seconds more on taking this blue buff. Let's set them a little bit behind, and this Gragas will be getting even less gold and experience. And also, talking about Wayless, he will have a little bit of peel from this Gragas explosive cask, and of course he'll have Braum to soak up all the damage, but he needs to not fail until the teamfights happen. And that is a tough task.
Now you can see very different strategies from both teams. EDG with that Jinx pick and with less armor on this bottom lane turret are actually looking to crack this turret super quickly and then rotate for an early dragon. So you can see big pressure down there on the bottom half of the map, and they're not even going to wait for the turret to go down. Jinx is going to work on the bottom lane turret while EDG go for a level 2 dragon.
Yeah, so we have seen a lot of things like that happen in the LPL. There's no one to kind of try and contest for that. Of course, Braum is recalled, but he's really far away from there, and they are trying to defend the turret and not the dragon at the moment. So
almost perfect juggling of that dragon by FCZF. He only took like 2 dragon auto attacks and kept any of the autos from going off onto Clearlove. So big global objective there. Early pick up by EDG.
The Unbreakable completely denying Name this turret. He could have got it.
Oh, but Chuan goes down. Nowhere to repel in there. He was looking for a dragon, but the spider walked into a web that EDG had laid out there. Wound up getting taken down. Second blood. Now a 0-2 score for Chuan. He is not having the game he wanted.
And actually, there's not much attack speed on this kill as of yet, but it still is really disgusting for LGD to deal with a kill with a double buff right there.
It's not only Kayle with double buffs, it's Kayle with double buffs and coming back into lane, not with any extra attack speed like you said, but with a fiendish codex. That's just such a huge damage amp. And look at the trade damage. Yeah, just Koro is a monster.
Can't really take him down because he doesn't really have the attack speed that he needs, but it's still a lot of damage, and this Lucian can't really be free in the top lane as he wants.
And now keep in mind, the last time that these two teams faced off, it was a much more one-sided affair. We're going to hop into a quick little replay as Chuan comes right around the corner. They're just like, well, didn't quite find the dragon inside that pit. Fat is death, and Quan will go down there for his second death of the game. And man, that double buff just almost makes Koro, it gives him an advantage in that lane, because it's never going to be XQ in lane with PYL. PYL is much more the roaming style of support, so he'll just leave that AD carry up there by himself and look to make plays elsewhere across the map.
Yeah, and it's really bad for LGD because, of course, putting that AD carry in a 1v1 in the top is just to make him farm more. And now there has to be Chuan or PYL to defend him because this Kayle is just gonna bully him out and he's not gonna get any farm at all.
And there is the culling coming out, going to take out most of the minions there. Top turret in a little bit of danger, but of course it's just going to be traded out there, as Name will take down bottom turret for a 1-1 score at about 6.5 minutes into the game. So really the big question is, this is really going to define the early phase of the game, is how do you rotate after this? Do you keep pushing and try for more? Or do you try to rotate maybe towards mid lane and put on some extra pressure there? I actually think that lanes should probably stay pretty standard here. And you can see, yeah, Dame is actually heading down on the bottom lane for yet another 2v1.
As much as I love this AP Kog'Maw, I love to see him, he's not really the best kind of a champion to pick into the middle lane. And the best thing to do for EDG is just to try and go to the middle lane and bully him and make him go down over and over again. Because that's a Kog'Maw, he's squishy, he can't really run away, he has this heal and flash. Once he uses them, he's gonna die and die and die over and over again.
But speaking of which, Wayless walks out with a blue buff steal. Taking that one down, he's gonna grab that one for himself, and now actually Clearlev's gonna go try for this steal for you, and it does look like they'll be able to take that one down, but a little bit less impressively so, I gotta say. It's pretty slick there. Gonna give that one to Wayless. Both mid laners, though, with a blue buff now.
Yeah, so Edward Gaming, of course, he got the blue buff, but it doesn't really matter if he loses in farm so much, and he can't really do anything for his team, as of yet.
As of yet, you know, they'll be able to get there, and I feel like the same thing is true for Kale. Up in the top lane, Korra 1 off to a great start. He'll be able to kick into high gear a little bit before that AP Kog'Maw pick. So I still think EDG are looking very, very solid for the for the next like 10 to 15 minutes, just because they do have strengths in almost every one of their lanes, to be honest. The big difference, though, of course, will be made here in the bottom lane, as finally, at long last, the duos will match up against each other.
Alright, so the game is looking a little bit peaceful at the moment. I expected a lot more pressure to come out, especially with this Kog'Maw right there. It is a tasty thing for the junglers.
And here is FCCF. He's getting in there. He's got some backup from Clearlove. The teleport in from Koro, and there's actually 17. He's going to try to body slam away, but there's no turret there to back him up. Of course, without a zap or a Q there from Kale landing. No pick potential there. I mean, I guess they had the potential if that zap had landed, but LGD, a lot of resources down here on the bottom half of the map. Of course, Dragon, very early taken very early on by EDG. Is about to respawn again in 30 seconds.
Right, so it was a teleport for a teleport, and they didn't actually get anything of that. Plus, you missed his Mega Inferno Bomb completely, so pretty much LGD came out on top of that because they had the numbers disadvantage and forced out some ultimates.
Oh, big engage again in the bottom lane. FCCF going in again. It's the NASCAR gang just turning right back around. And Name with the rocket sniping down XQ. Look at that guy. Name wasn't even a part of that fight. He just threw the rocket out. And of course, a great engage once again by FCCF, really putting the pain on to that bottom lane.
Yeah, but it's so sad to see these zaps being so close, but missing in the end. And once again, it was the same. Name threw out that zap, it missed completely. So he decided to not engage into the fight himself. He just threw out the Super Mega Daft Rocket, and that's it. That provides him the kill. He will be even stronger on this Jinx, and we know the pushing possibilities of a Jinx. Plus, you have this Ziggs to clear out the minions. This is going to be huge.
Well, I also know another thing. If you look at the team composition synergy here from EDG, it's just straight up better. You've got double globals from, I guess, an actual global from Jinx's Super Mega Death Rocket, and then the Mega Inferno Bomb from Ziggs. So you can clear waves, you can snipe down champions from almost anywhere. Really, really puts pressure on LGD. And of course, if you're talking about a team fight, you've got a Kale ultimate to keep at least one of the carries alive, and then super chaotically mega engage from Jarvan and Leona, just dunking down onto everybody, really taking the pressure off of Name.
Okay, so 3-0. Time by time, they are getting a little bit of kills, but it's still... I kind of feel like this should be a faster game, a quicker game. More kills should be happening. Because this Kog'Maw is the squishiest champ ever, the easiest one to kill, and yet no one is even focusing him. No one is going around this middle lane, and he's just there. I expected a lot more.
Oh, I expected FCZF to go in once again. He did, and now he's actually sets up for Clear Love. FCZF just barely making it out alive. He has been going in very aggressively, but that time around, it didn't quite work out the way he had planned.
Well, the Solar Flare missed, that is the key thing. He threw out a Solar Flare onto XQ, missed that, and then went for a Zenith Blade into 2 members right there. It would have been a little bit better if it was just a Solar Flare into 2 members right there and hitting it. Zenith Blade onto XQ. That would have been a kill on AD carry.
Oh, the pink word bait again. Doesn't work out. You can't clear that, man. Clear Love. Loves to clear, but that time around it did not work out. Winds up going down for the first kill for LGD.
Yeah, they are getting this one, and, well, they are pushing this bottom lane. That might be their turret. Oh, but the Mega Inferno Bomb is going to clear out the minions, and PYL on the dive.
Oh, PYL this time around. Oh, Name's gonna have to watch out for that. So it's a 2-for-1 now. Excuse, stand alive. And LGD come back with an even stronger dive. And that 2v1 advantage.
Chuang getting both kills though. There is nothing for Lucian, just the assists.
Gotta keep an eye on the other lanes here as 17 is feeling the pressure. Of course, Kog'Maw in the mid lane now down 40 CS. Versus use Ziggs. And to be honest, I think that's kind of expected. AP Kog'Maw can wave clear very well, but he doesn't take those side jungle camps quite as well as Ziggs does. So, of course, that will over time make up a bigger and bigger advantage. And it's one you is used to having. Just because I feel like he's played a lot, you know, he's very familiar. And at some point, you gets used to just about everything.
Yeah, looking at people clearing out the wards is so intense. Like, I'm just waiting for another catch once again. LGD lost the first blood this way, and they got the first kill of the game this way too. So the wards playing a big role in this act.
AP Kog'Maw, right as I say he's not good at taking those side camps, he goes back for the raise. Trying to keep his farm up there, still down about 40 CS, but you can see he's going for... this is a really weird Kog'Maw build, okay? He's going for stacking up the mana regen, but the big deal about Kog'Maw, especially the AP Kog'Maw, is that you need to be able to spam his ultimate over and over again, and you need a big mana pool for that, and honestly... really just the tier as it stacks that up is going to be the answer for that mana pool. No Rod of Ages though, as that is a very common item on most AP Kog'Maws, but you can see here it's playing a little bit differently. Wayless definitely knows what he's talking about as far as the AP Cog's concerned. He is the only player in LPL to be able to try that champion yet.
Yeah, we'll see how it turns out later on in the game, because I also think that this Rod of Ages would have been better. It gives Kog'Maw health, and that's what he lacks a lot too.
Exactly. Like, look at, you're going up against a Kayle, Jarvan, Leona team with Mega Inferno Bombs and Super Mega Death Rockets coming at your face, and like as an AD carry, you need something to sustain through all of those, and whether it's just the passive from the Rod of Ages or if it's just straight up the HP, that is something very, very valuable to Kog'Maw, but it doesn't look like he's going to get it.
Yep, he picked up this tier as the first item too, then went into the Athenes and Holy Grail, still keeping his CS up there. But he's not really doing the same as you, not even close right there in the CS or in the kills, because you got 1 kill and he's got nothing right there. So he's a little bit behind in gold, doesn't have the dragon too. I'd love to be inside of his head right now. I'd love to know what he's thinking with this Kog'Maw pick.
Mid lane is just continuing to one-shot those waves and then move to the side camp. So I'm pretty sure Wayless and you just like they met up before the game. They're just like, hey, well, I won't kill you if you guys don't kill me. And while you might have broken that promise just a little bit, grabbing a kill for himself, pretty much just AFK farming for both mid laners. And to be honest, this is about as exciting as this mid lane is really gonna get. Not really too many ganks onto Kog'Maw, which is kind of surprising to be honest, but both mid laners just farming away, getting a ton of CS, leading both of their teams individually.
Yeah, Chompa's just thrown out right there. Perfect zoning from one simple skill. Right there from Jinx. Secures the dragon for EDG completely. And it's pretty much about the bottom lane in this game only. In the top lane, there's not much going on. Everyone just a little bit of trading and getting the CS. In the middle lane, also just CSing. And, well, the top laners get involved when they use their teleports. And that's it. Only the bottom lane is doing something right now in the game. But later on, it's going to become a big thing. With this Gragas jumping in with the explosive casks into the team fights, with this Kale jumping in with the tons of damage, and also the intervention. It's gonna get messy.
Yeah, I really don't think Kale's gonna be doing too much jumping in. Now he's gonna try to jump away here. Nice cocoon will land on Nikoro. There's the knock up. Kale ultimate's down, but he's gonna have to intervene himself a lot to be able to survive this. Solar Flare tries to snipe in onto Chuan, but he can't find it. Perfect repel in there. No matter how much FCZF tries, he can't save his top laner. Koro 1 will go down, and those CDR items that he has, they don't work on his death timer. He'll be dead for another 10.5 seconds.
There was Jarvan and Jinx coming, but the timing was off by so much right there. Name still trying to go for this turret. I think that they will secure it, but it's just a 1-for-1. Still, the dragons are giving them the edge and the gold.
Oh, but a big engage off the cocoon. Repel will block a lot of that damage or dodge it away. But Name is just there with way too much damage to deny. Oh, Zaplan's on Wayless. He is going to get knocked up there. Tries to turn that damage right back around on a Name, but yeah, there's not a whole lot. He's just going to farm with his ultimate. Grab himself 50 gold before heading back to base the hard way.
I don't know if you have seen that, but this Koro 1 teleport, where did it come from? There was nothing to teleport to. He just teleported onto the lane. No minions, no turrets, nothing, no wards. Just teleported in. That was weird.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what you gotta do. Just go for those big teleports. That's how you make the plays that are gonna get LGD. I want to say back into the game. Honestly, like, they have an AP Kog'Maw, but no matter how scary he gets, there's gonna have to be something that lets him survive against the Kale, against the Ziggs, Jinx combo throwing stuff at his face, and more importantly, against the hard engage in CC that Jarvan and Leona offer. EDG, they've been in the driver's seat almost since, like, you know, minute number 5 or 6 when they took that super early dragon. And I don't think they're going to let up that pressure anytime soon.
So the sieging from Ziggs is already huge, taking this Lucian down so quickly. Of course, he stays alive, but this poke is so much damage coming in. And look at that. EDG finally decides to stack up in the middle lane. Big fights might be coming in just a while.
Haven't seen too many big fights just yet. To be honest, LGD, they pioneered a very, very aggressive sort of dive-heavy style. If you guys remember a couple of weeks ago, it was LGD that was going for that like 4 to 5 minute 5-man dive on the mid lane. Like, these guys do crazy group strategies, and they're never a team that lets the lane phase go on very long at all. That's why you've seen PYL just roaming absolutely everywhere, looking to make picks, but it hasn't necessarily been able to find them, so I don't know about this. EDG, they're weathering the storm and are coming out very, very far ahead. Still always keep that Kog'Maw in mind. If Wayless gets going, that is his champion to possibly even carry out the game.
Alright, so LGD, even though they are losing in the turrets and the kills, they also got something for themselves. And it was this big fight in the bottom lane where they also picked up the outer and the bot, so they got a little bit of gold to work with, but it's still 7k gold deficit. And they lost all the dragons right there. But Wayless, he died somewhere, I didn't even notice.
Now after that death, I mean, that's just going to be straight on to the Baron. And I don't think anybody from LGD really knows about this. PYL and XQ, they're just like, oh, we're going to be farming in the bottom lane. Not really sure what they're up to right now. And EDG, they're on that Baron. Yeah, like you said, no vision around the Baron pit. But more importantly, it's no vision almost anywhere in that upper half of the map. And that's free Baron number 1. LGD, they're not on the same page as EDG are. They're a couple steps behind, and it's going to cost them Baron number 1 at 21 minutes.
Right, so after this turret in the middle lane going down, I wanted to say that it's almost the Baron time, but there was no vision at all, so they didn't expect that. And 17 right now in the top lane is just gonna get crushed by 3 members of EDG.
Oh, but here is the mid lane. Forced the flash out of Yu. Man, you could see PYL stepped in there, and all of a sudden, Yu is just like, I'm just going to go ahead and flash this. Of course, PYL flashed in there too. Nice pick attempt on a Yu, but to no avail.
And EDG will be taking the turret in the top. There's no one anywhere near to defending that. LGD will just give it away for free. They gave away the Baron for free and then the turret, and well, that's not the way you win games.
Well, speaking of winning games, it's something that EDG know all about after coming off of their victory over OMG in the IEM Singapore, or the IEM Shenzhen qualifiers. Now, I mean, it's still all China affair, but LGD, they just need to hang on for dear life. If they can make it another 10 minutes into the game, then Wayless will actually be ridiculously strong. And more importantly, able to wave clear against this Ziggs incoming without there being too much pressure. Speaking of pressure, we're on to Dragon number 2 here at the, or number 3 rather, at the 23-minute mark. And EDG, no questions asked, they're going to take that down.
Yeah, no problem. Once again, no vision at all from LGD. No one anywhere near to defending that. And LGD giving away everything for free. And then, if they start giving away kills to... well, I don't even see a chance for this Kog'Maw to get this to the strong point. The game will be over before that happens. You need to start doing something, LGD.
Exactly. You need to just pick somebody somewhere and go there. It's like make plays. And LGD, they don't really know what they're doing. They're corralled inside their own base. Kog'Maw desperately trying to get CS, but at this point, there's just not enough. And especially with the wave clear, with the poke coming out of Ziggs, there's just nothing you can do about that. He already has a death cap, for goodness sakes. Nobody anywhere near that guy in terms of his damage potential.
Finally, the Seraph's Embrace comes out of this Kog'Maw, but it's still not enough. It's just the mana that he needed, and he doesn't really have much more. Look at that. Look at the damage from the rockets.
Oh, man, there's Mega Inferno Bomb just to add insult to injury. FCZF with the biggest flank of his life coming in there from the side. 17 very, very low. Koro wants to go for the dive, but Koro actually might have overextended just a little bit. And like you said, Name, he went in there over aggressively. That's some kid syndrome. Dove in and couldn't get back out.
The thing is, he went in over aggressively, but got 2 kills off of that. And when he was actually in good position later on, he got completely taken down by the Ooze and the ultimates from Kog'Maw out of nowhere, because he was just running around, didn't expect anything. But then the damage from Kog'Maw drops on him, and he goes down immediately. And Wayless was even close to getting a kill onto Koro. Well, this Kog'Maw starts doing something, but isn't it too late? That is the question.
Is it too late? Is it too late? Well, it'll be too late, but we'll check out a replay, see exactly how this went down. Cocoon starts on a Name, but with the turret falling, this is EDG's signal to go in. A bunch of damage down there, and you can see FCZF's coming in. Cocoon on a clear love in the back, keeps him from closing. There's the Mega, or the explosive cast, rather. Trying for a knockback, but look at that AP Kog'Maw damage. Just crushes Name way back in the back line. That is the power of Wayless' AP Kog'Maw. Koro 1, though, gonna get jumped on up top lane. Tries for the kill in onto XQ. Will he be able to find it? No, the dash through into that piercing light. XQ finds that kill. Oh, Mega Inferno Bomb just barely out of range. Oh my gosh, that was so close. You unable to find the kill.
The minions blocked him by a little bit, and you saw the panic right there. He was going back and forth, finally dodged it, and there comes the Mega Super Mega Death Rocket misses too. But actually from that replay, you could have seen that the over-aggressive stance of Name was when he got a cocoon, but then the turret went down, the kills went down, and he got a combo from Kog'Maw out of nowhere. That was really surprising for him, I think.
Very surprising. I mean, it surprised me. I didn't expect it to synergize quite that well. But now it's just back to business as usual for EDG. They've got crazy ward coverage up. Every lane pushing, with the notable exception of top lane. We'll come back there in a little bit. But oh, EDG took down one Baron buff. Are they looking to make a pick in order to grab Baron number 2?
Most probably yes, because they took the first one so easily, and now they are just looking for a fight favorable for themselves, actually, because they lost a kill right there against LGD on the bottom lane because there were turrets involved. And that was the additional factor that gave LGD the edge, actually. They still lost the fight, but they got one kill at least. And in an all-out 5v5, EDG is crushing, definitely. So EDG are just waiting for a fight to happen. They will take the Baron. They will most probably take some inhibitors for themselves, and they'll be happy with what they have. 6-2 this Jinx at the moment.
Yeah, this is a very strong Jinx performance. And look at Name's Jinx. Like, it's not just enough that he's 6-2. He is second highest CS in the game, or third highest CS, of course, barring those 2 mid laners. But speaking of mid lane, like, we gotta talk about this. It was 23 minutes, and I mean, you was trying to hit Froggen's CS record. I think Skara had it for a long time. It's been kind of the U show. He has been running around killing every single minion, of course, into killing champions. Well, that's where Name has been excelling so far.
And that's why he has so much CS. He's just killing champions with a Mega Inferno Bomb and throwing the Mega Inferno Bombs out on the side lanes to get more CS and more CS. So he can stay in the middle, get all the creeps that he wants, and on top of that, get assists and kills with his ultimate. That's really good on Ziggs, because he can get fed in without doing anything, actually.
Well, I mean, Kog'Maw very strong right now. He's got the completed Seraph's Embrace. He's got a Void Staff on top of that Bio-Arcane Barrage. Like, that's a pretty strong Kog'Maw to deal with. You just have to get him in position, and that is not the position he wants to be in. Mega Inferno Bomb right on top of the dive. It's actually going to be Clear Love to take him out. Or no, Yu is actually the one to pick up the kill. But one kill after another about to come in here. Look at that dunk down there. Clear Love's got the Randuins down there as well. PYL and Chuan trying to run away. Kuro's got the invincibility right into the Super Mega Death Rocket. Name's just got kill after kill. There's the zap again. Name, just let them live for a second or two. 8-2 the score. And EDG looking every bit as strong as they did yesterday.
Yeah, Clearlove took the Baron at the same time. Kog'Maw went down, and EDG will now be taking the inhibitors that I was talking about. They will be looking for a fight. They got it. They will be looking for a Baron. They got it. They will be looking for the inhibitors. They got it. And now they are backing off. And EDG, what else do they need? They have the advantage. And LGD can't seem to find any golden key to coming back into this game.
EDG, they've been the ones picking the fights, and to be honest, it's really just a lack of awareness from LGD at when they're vulnerable to being picked off. Just around that Baron pit, it's like, it's not a mystery to them that EDG, they just picked up Baron. What are they going to do next to try to pick a fight? So if you're LGD, you just keep farming. They have some incredible wave clear, but the blue buff steal. You with some extra mana on him. Kind of repaying the favor from earlier when Wayless stole his own blue buff. But off the recall, LGD in a better position here for Dragon. Well, at least find themselves a little bit of gold trying to make this comeback.
Yeah, this blue buff even taken away from Wayless. Look at how desperate he is. He even got an elixir of brilliance right there. So he's just trying to get more AP, more mana, and throw out more of these ultimates and be more useful. But well, then he gets caught around the Baron pit, then his blue buff gets stolen. He can't really be at his top damage.
I mean, you really do have to look towards that Kog'Maw for probably the majority of the damage here. Like, I mean, Gragas, he's had all of his ratios turned down. He's not going to be the big damage dealer, but he should draw a decent amount of decent amount of crowd control and attention here in this fight. To be honest, this is going to be a game of the carries. While some games are, this game especially so. You've got Name, just a battle of a guy that can do whatever he wants. Wins games that are lost, and he just never gives up. But here in their series versus LGD have a couple of attitudes very similar to that. And you got to look towards Wayless. His Kog'Maw has been so good, but he's just going to get dove over and over again, all the way back into the back. Wayless actually is able to stay alive, but oh, Chuan very, very low. Look at his KO damage from Koro1, just diving in and destroying PYL. Could this be the end of the game? EDG, they are pushing in onto the base turrets. They'll take down one, they'll take down two, and they will take the game. Number one here in this best of two series versus LGD.
Yeah, so they clearly had an advantage, but the game started kind of slowly, and that was the weird thing. They still didn't abuse the Kog'Maw pick, and they took it easily anyway, so EDG is showing the strength right here.
They will be your victors for game number one in this best of two, but keep in mind we've got the last game of the night coming your way next as LGD attempt to bring things back, tie the series up 1-1. Of course, keep in mind, like we said before this game, if EDG win 2-0, then that will mean that they'll be jumping into for second place, tie, versus World Elite. So Edward Gaming got a lot on their minds here, and of course, as they do play World Elite tomorrow, and will have the potential chance to grab that coveted first place spot in the LPL. I think that is going to do it for a little bit of a break. We'll come back after a short intermission with game number two, last game of the night here, as LGD take on Edward Gaming here in the LPL, of course, presented in English here on Twitch TV, my friends at Games in Asia and Ghost 2 Gamers. So make sure to stick around. Stay tuned. We'll be back with game number two in a little bit.
戴尔刚一直在说，就是比如说 EDG 直播杀人了，没关系，等大嘴，
等大的16级，
等大嘴 carry 是，但是没办法，没 carry 到，
没错，
而且皇子这个突进实在是太强了，是给大嘴任何 poke 的机会。没错，
毕竟是大嘴还是缺乏位移的一个英雄，一旦被强突脸之后，还是稍稍有一些尴尬，很难受。而且其实你看，像 U 在中路跟大嘴在对线的时候，在21分钟的时候，我们应该注意到了 U 的补刀是补了300刀。21分钟的时候补了300刀，
他好几波大招就名义上是在支援，其实是什么？
I'm against the biggest team that there is, so well, most probably it is going to be a 2-0 in favor of EDG. However, you can see it on your screens. The Chinese casters also think that they might split, and that is a possibility with a nice percent of chances.
Exactly. You can see two of the casters split at 1-1, and then, of course, one of them at 2-0. And to be honest, I wouldn't be too surprised if it is a 1-1 split. But, of course, EDG looking incredibly strong, especially coming off of... I mean, you mentioned that EDG beat OMG in the IEM qualifiers, but that doesn't really go into the level of devastation that EDG wrought on OMG. Like, it was not even close. Name went beyond godlike. This guy almost single-handedly just crushed down OMG, one of the most dominant teams, the most dominant team in LPL currently. So EDG come into their best of two versus LGD looking incredibly strong, and here you can see, look at all those victories. They lost one game versus Starhorn when they split last time they faced off, but it's been win after win after win. A 70% win ratio in one of the most competitive leagues on Earth.
Yet they are still on the 4th place in the standings, so they will be looking to climb up there because they definitely are aiming at the 1st place. They finished 1st after the playoffs from the spring split, so they will be looking for the same for the summer, and especially that World Championships are closing in, and they definitely want to be in the
继续收看英雄联盟职业联赛2014夏季赛事。那么呢，在广告休息之前，大家看到的是 IG 跟青训之间的 BO2 第2场，最后是由 IG 取下了胜利。
这场比赛可以说 IG 只是正常玩了就赢了，这个是实话。两支队伍从用实力上来说的话 ，IG 还是要领先一些。
哎，你的
第一
说明真
场比赛
是贼简略。那第一场怎么了？
第一场比赛轻敌了，很明显的轻敌了，
确
完全
实有这个。
放任一个后期能力比较强的艾瑞利亚，完全不管，那这个就没办法。
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the English coverage of the LPL. Of course, provided to you here on Twitch TV by our friends at Games in Asia and Gosu Gamers. I am Reed Rapid Melton. Of course, joining me is Nero, and we'll be your shoutcasters for tonight's second best of two series as EDG, that's Edward Gaming, take on LGD.
Yeah, so it is an interesting match coming right here. EDG in the previous week, they weren't at the top of their abilities, but later on, and during the week, at IEM, they completely destroyed OMG, so that's kind of weird to see them losing a game in LPL and then winning on IEM. Yeah, and his performance is definitely one of the top, if not even in China, I can even say in the world, because he's really good AD carry. He's showing this in the mechanical skills and how he plays. Well, the other thing is how his team does, because when he was playing with positive energy, well, they had some problems within the team. But right now, Name, having a stronger lineup beside him, having such a legends as Clearlove, as FCCF right there, he definitely has a lot more possibilities.
Yeah, I love FCCF's keyboard. It's like all rainbow colors. He's got the pastels on there. I can't remember exactly. I know they make Philco keyboards like that, but I can't remember exactly what his was. But here we are with their opposition, and facing off against them in tonight's best of two will be LGD. And now LGD come into this with a 50% win ratio, so it's a little bit less. But to be honest, they've actually been looking very, very good recently. While they did lose their last series versus World Elite, they have actually been very strong, taking out Invictus Gaming, and then of course splitting the series versus Young Glory, which did give them their second win of LPL. And of course here you see the players on the screen. We're going to start by introducing PYL, doing it in reverse order. This guy is a god at Thresh, but maybe not quite so much on anything else. So expect to see a Thresh ban versus PYL if that champion makes it through.
Actually, he is considered one of the best supports in China too. When he was playing with STYZ in the bottom lane, they were considered the best bottom lane right there, but STYZ disappeared. There's XQ, but XQ is also a good AD carry. However, they are not doing so well as a team anymore.
Right.
And they can't really preserve it.
Yeah, the synergy was really important there. And when you move PYL into just a new lane here with XV, it's just not there. The synergy is broken, but now we actually get a chance to see one of the big stars on LGD, and of course this is Wayless. He is undoubtedly the carry of the team, and he has put up some huge numbers, even an AP Kog'Maw game, like you can see in there, and bring in Diana back.
Yeah, so this guy also is some kind of a legend coming into the team. He is one of the best mid laners out there in China, but he has some questionable plays. He's really aggressive, he's going in alone, so that's exactly what you were talking about. The chemistry within the team is not sticking together with them. He's going for some reckless plays, sometimes pays for it with his life. Well, LGD, they're kind of this really good team, but it's pretty much a mix of good players. It's like the super team right there. When you make a super team in AU, they weren't doing too well until they trained much, because it's not just about the players, it's actually about how they work together.
Right, and it doesn't get much more of a super team than EDG. Edward Gaming just formed out of some of the best players from all different teams. And of course, here we are going to hop into Champion Select, picks and bans.
Top form for that event, so they want to show a good performance right here on LPL too, to impress the Chinese fans, to get the support.
And now we'll be going over the players for EDG. You can see them right there on your screen. This is Koro1. We're just playing Koro. He's been playing a lot of Kale, but Kale, of course, having been nerfed recently, may not see that champion out there quite so much. Now moving on, there is Clearlove, one of the most well-known junglers in China. I've been favoring Jarvan recently, but probably will get on that Lee Sin if it is available, of course, at least in a very, very big contested pick here between the Edward Gaming and LGD.
Actually, talking about the scale, we have seen her banned 2 times in a row in the previous best of 2, so it still is an open thing in China.
And there is Yu on your screen. He is playing a little bit of everything, and of course mid lane, one of the most versatile lanes that are out there for League of Legends, at least in the current meta. You can see that he is leading his team with, I believe it was least deaths, was that the stat? I can't remember exactly what they were showing there on screen. But moving on down to the duo lane, this is Name. And this guy has just single-handedly just like stepped up his game, crushed OMG yesterday. And now tonight, we facing off against LGD, coming into the game as one of the best, if not the best, AD carry in all of China.